It might sound a bit alarming to say it like this, but the truth is that your liver is silently, yet urgently, begging you to stop consuming certain foods that could be damaging it at a rate you might not even imagine. Stay with me until the end, because we're going to talk about 5 very common foods that can be especially harmful to your liver. We'll also explore why your body becomes more sensitive past a certain age. Plus, I'll share some helpful tips and alternatives that can support your body in recovering and functioning better every single day. Before diving into these 5 foods, let me invite you to write your age and the city you're watching from in the comments section. That way, we can build a community where everyone contributes their experiences, and who knows, maybe together we can help more people over 60 become aware and take better care of themselves. I'd also really appreciate it if you subscribe to this channel and gave this video a like, as your interaction helps us reach more people who might need this information. Now, let's get to it. You might be wondering why we emphasize so much the impact of food on liver health, especially after age 60. To answer that, we need to remember that the liver is one of the most complex and vital organs we have. It's like a huge laboratory that filters toxins, metabolizes nutrients, and coordinates many essential processes. When we're young, this powerful organ has great regenerative ability and resilience. However, over time, that capacity to regenerate decreases. After 60, poor eating habits can trigger serious health issues that might not have shown up in earlier decades. That's why it's urgent to pay attention to what we eat, and why so many people, without even realizing it, could be accumulating damage in their liver every time they take a bite. What's worrisome is that some of these foods are part of our daily diet, and when consumed in excess, place a heavy burden on the liver. I want to tell you about Teresa, a 68-year-old woman who used to live with chronic fatigue. She woke up tired, had occasional pain in the upper right side of her abdomen, and experienced heavy digestion, which she just attributed to aging. She never imagined her liver might be suffering so badly. One day, she experienced sharp pain and ended up in the emergency room. After several tests, doctors told her her liver enzymes were elevated, and she had signs of liver inflammation. She was shocked to learn that many of the foods she regularly ate were silently punishing her body. Teresa didn't drink alcohol or smoke, so she asked herself, "Why me? Why is my liver so damaged if I've always thought I led a normal life?" That's when, upon reviewing her diet, she discovered she had been eating certain foods almost daily that were among the worst for liver health, especially at her age. Stories like Teresa's are more common than you think. Many people mistake pain, fatigue, or digestive discomfort as something that just comes with age. And yes, aging does bring changes, but that doesn't mean we should resign ourselves to them, especially if we can take concrete steps to prevent further damage. So, if you're ready to protect your liver, stay with us until the end of the video. And again, don't forget to comment with your age and location so we can build a supportive network for those taking charge of their health. Now, before revealing the 5 foods, let me mention the insights of Dr. Jorge Herrera, a gastroenterology specialist with over 30 years of clinical experience. He states that nearly 4 out of 10 patients over 60 who come to his office have fatty liver, often without knowing it. Can you believe how high that number is? That's nearly half of older patients who aren't even aware their liver is overloaded with fat and toxins. In most cases, this is directly related to what we eat. That's why nutrition plays a central role in liver health prevention and care. Let's now jump into the list of 5 foods your liver is begging you to cut, especially after the age of 60. Remember that every person is different, and what I share here is general information. For any serious concern, you should always consult your trusted doctor. That said, let's begin. The first food, often overlooked, but one your liver would rather see out of your diet, or at least very limited, is processed red meat. Yes, I'm talking about sausages, deli meats, bacon, and similar items that show up in quick breakfasts or dinners. Why are they such a problem? Because processed red meats contain large amounts of saturated fats and preservatives. The liver is responsible for metabolizing and filtering these components, and when they're consumed in excess, it struggles to break them down and can become inflamed. According to recent studies, frequent consumption of processed meats is linked not only to a higher risk of fatty liver, but also to cardiovascular complications. Now, this doesn't mean you should never enjoy a sausage or a piece of bacon again, but it's important to seek leaner or plant-based alternatives, and above all, moderate how often you eat them. The second food your liver doesn't want in excess is refined sugar and industrial sweets. Cakes, pastries, sugar-loaded cookies, soft drinks full of sweeteners, you name it. Why are they so bad? Because excess sugar turns into fat when the body can't use it right away. That fat tends to accumulate in adipose tissue and also in internal organs. The liver processes fructose and glucose, and when there's too much industrial fructose, like high fructose corn syrup, it creates an overload associated with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. For someone over 60, with a slower metabolism, this can be especially harmful. Again, this doesn't mean you have to give up all sweets, but it's crucial to limit them and choose more natural options, like whole fruits with fiber and micronutrients, or gentler sweeteners used in moderation. Let's move to the third group of liver-damaging foods: fried items and hydrogenated oils. These include store-bought chips and fast foods made with reused oil. The problem with trans fats and low-quality saturated fats is that the liver has a hard time metabolizing them, and this burden only grows with age. Regular consumption of fried foods increases the risk of liver inflammation by promoting insulin resistance and fat deposits in the liver. Imagine this. Every time you eat bagged chips or deep-fried chicken, your liver has to work overtime to deal with greasy residues and toxic compounds. Unfortunately, this happens quietly, until one day, there's abdominal pain, extreme fatigue, or abnormal lab results. The good news is that we can switch to baking, steaming, or grilling, and use better oils, like extra virgin olive or avocado oil, used carefully and without overheating. Now for the fourth silent enemy of the liver: sugary beverages and carbonated sodas. Many people get used to drinking soda with every meal, or processed juices that may seem natural but are full of added sugars. As we age, our bodies tolerate this kind of excess less and less. The liver must work overtime to process all that glucose and fructose, which can lead to massive fat buildup in the organ. Plus, too much sugar in drinks causes insulin spikes, body inflammation, and sets the stage for type 2 diabetes, which further complicates liver function. Liver expert Dr. Fernando Mendez says that many older patients with fatty liver or related issues drink soda daily. Can you imagine the long-term impact? I encourage you to replace these drinks with water, sugar-free herbal teas, or natural fruit-infused water with little or no added sugar. It may be hard at first, but your liver will thank you, and you'll likely feel more energetic and digest food better. The fifth food, and often the most surprising one for people, is white flour and refined bread. That everyday white bread, pasta made with overly processed flour, refined wheat cookies, and more. In your 20s or 30s, your body might handle these simple carbs better. But after 60, metabolic efficiency drops, and the liver, along with the pancreas, has to manage large surges of blood sugar. The result: increased fat accumulation in the liver, abdomen, and other areas. These flours spike your meal's glycemic index, contributing to insulin resistance and fatty liver. And if you pair white bread with fatty deli meats and sugary sodas, you're creating a perfect storm for your liver. This doesn't mean you should never eat bread again, but try switching to whole grain or rye bread, oats, and whole grains paired with lean proteins and veggies. That shift could be crucial for your liver health. Let's go back to Teresa's story. When she reviewed her diet, she realized she was eating fatty deli meats and white bread almost every morning. washed down with processed fruit juice. That specific combo was overloading her liver with saturated fats, sugars, and refined carbs. When she gradually reduced those foods and replaced them with healthier choices, she noticed a big improvement in her energy and lab results. Her once high liver enzymes began to stabilize over the months. She also noticed easier digestion and a lighter feeling in her abdomen after meals. These changes didn't happen overnight, but they show the liver can regenerate if we give it a break and stop attacking it every day. You might be wondering how to know if your liver is crying out for help. There are several symptoms that, while not always indicating serious liver problems, can be warning signs. Chronic fatigue with no clear cause, very slow or heavy digestion, abdominal bloating, pain or twinges in the upper right abdomen, changes in urine color or even in the skin and eyes, a slightly yellow tone, among others. If you frequently experience some of these, it's important to see a health professional and get blood tests that include liver enzymes like ALT and AST. Detecting a problem early can make all the difference. Now that we've covered these 5 harmful foods, I want to give you a few recommendations that can help your liver recover and get stronger. First, proper hydration. Water is essential to help the liver filter toxins and keep the body in balance. Drinking enough water throughout the day can make a big difference. Second, increase your fiber intake through whole fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains. Fiber helps sweep out waste and stabilize blood sugar levels, reducing the liver's workload. Third, regular moderate exercise is key. You don't have to become an athlete overnight. Just walk for 30 minutes, take the stairs instead of the elevator, or stay active with light daily movement. Physical inactivity is one of the biggest enemies, as it promotes fat buildup in the body and in the liver. Some people also consider natural supplements like milk thistle, which recent studies suggest may help with liver inflammation. But always consult a professional, especially if you're on other medications. Green tea, when consumed moderately, has also been linked to improved liver function, though it's not a miracle cure. The idea is to add small, consistent changes that support your liver's health. And remember, nothing replaces reducing the 5 main offenders: processed red meats, refined sugars, greasy fried foods, sugary sodas, and white refined flours. I know it can feel overwhelming to change your diet overnight, especially if you've grown up with certain habits and flavors. But think about this. Your liver has been faithfully working for you, filtering and detoxifying for your entire life. If it's now showing signs of fatigue or fat buildup, it's time to give it a break and give back some of that loyalty it's shown you. Often, just a few small steps can make a big difference. For example, if you usually eat deli meats for breakfast, switch them out a few days a week for eggs with vegetables and some whole oats. If you love white bread, try whole grain or rye. If you crave soda at lunch, start replacing it with water or tea. Each small change adds up in favor of your health. Let's wrap up with Teresa's final outcome. After several months of adopting modest changes, she cut back on deli meats at breakfast, swapped white bread for whole grain in moderation, stopped drinking processed juice daily, and switched to unsweetened teas. Teresa got a follow-up checkup that showed her labs had improved. Her triglycerides and cholesterol stabilized, her liver inflammation decreased, and she regained more energy for daily life. She stopped experiencing that right-side abdominal pain and, most importantly, gained the confidence that she could take control of her health instead of surrendering to the struggles of aging. Her story is proof that it's never too late to make positive changes, and that our bodies can truly surprise us when we treat them with care. I know many people say, "At my age, it doesn't matter anymore." But I invite you to think differently. Every single day of life is precious. It's not about living to 100. It's about making the years you do live as vibrant, pain-free, and full of vitality as possible. Your liver is a central pillar of your overall health, and you have the power to protect it with the choices you make at the store, in the kitchen, and at the table. It might feel hard at first, but I'm sure that once you start and see the results, you'll realize it was all worth it. Before we wrap up, a friendly reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Give this video a like and share your thoughts, questions, or experiences in the comments. Which of these 5 foods did you used to eat often without realizing how much it could harm your liver? Processed meats, lots of pastries, daily sodas, fried snacks, white bread. Share your story. It might help someone else open their eyes. Also, let us know if you have any doubts about transitioning to a liver-friendly diet. We're here to support and learn together. We'll soon be sharing more videos focused on the holistic health of people over 60, covering simple habits, healthy recipes, and tips to stay active. If you don't want to miss anything, hit the notification bell so YouTube alerts you when we post new content. To sum up, the main idea is that your liver isn't asking you to live a life of permanent sacrifice. It's asking for balance. Cutting down on processed red meats, refined sugars, greasy fried foods, sugary drinks, and white flour products can be a huge step towards staying healthy and thriving well beyond your 60s. And if you start making small but consistent changes, within a few months, your body will thank you. You'll feel the joy of waking up with more energy, having lighter digestion, and seeing lab results that reflect a healthier liver. Thanks so much for sticking around. Always remember, your health is a treasure, and with the right habits, there's still so much life to enjoy. See you in the next video, and I hope you keep joining us on this journey toward wellness and learning.